Okay.
These guys were like, no, me, I'm going back to Africa.
And do you know the reason why they decided to come back?
Well, that brings me back to maybe they're being patriotic.
Or they have somebody in the hierarchy of affairs to help them?
It's possible. It's possible. So then, do you think that?
Or they have substantial back home to fall on?
Yeah. Do you think that if Africans or African governments um created opportunities and employment dignity or dignified employment were guaranteed in Africa, do you think Africans would come to Europe, but also even the other way around? Would we have to go back home, or do you think people will go back home?
Uh, this is an interesting question. I always say, I think I've always had this conversation with other people. If we had like a lot of things put in place very well, many of us wouldn't have even bothered to come to Europe. Like, let's take for instance those that come to Europe to work without like the proper documentation and everything. If they had something substantial doing back home, and then there was no form of I need to know somebody before I get things done back home, I think majority of the people will just come to Europe or to other parts of the world for vacation and then just go back home because they know that, oh, I have something to fall on. But here's the case that for university graduates, you are done with school, there's no job. There's even there's this assertion that, oh, somebody who completed school 10 years ago has not even gotten a job. How much more you that completed school 6 months ago? So I think if there were good jobs, good salary, more like like good tenants to ensure a good life, most people would just come to Europe or to America or go to China to seek the knowledge and come back home to help because they know that structures have been put in place to cushion them or to help them become a better version and also help our nation. But here's the situation whereby our structures are not effective and efficient enough. And there is also the assumption that, oh, when I come back home, there is nothing to cushion me or stabilize me. Then there's no point of going home. So, as you said, your stage had nearly got you declined for a job. So, let's assume if the manager of the company knew you and then knew your level of intellect, I'm not sure he would have used your stature to judge you and say, oh, you are not fit for the job. So, I think sometimes I would argue that we have good structures which have been put in place, but the people in charge of these structures are not helping. So I wouldn't blame policies. I wouldn't blame the kind of structures that we have. On paper, it looks good, but in reality, the people in charge of these things are not helping because they might want to help people close to them. They are ineffective. They are inefficient. Sorry for my words if it hurts, but that is the truth.